this appalling mess is why you need to mulch your veggie patch. It is just full of weeds, and I weeded this only a couple of weeks ago. I can't believe how quickly the weeds have grown. It's just insane. With the warm weather and the little bits of rain, the spring rain that we're getting, it's just flourished. My seeds have popped up that I planted a few weeks ago after I weeded. So this is my lettuces. I've got some kohlrabi here. They've all popped up, but so have all the weed seeds. So I'm starting to mulch. I've been wanting to do this, and I always advocate mulching. Mulching is so important for your veggie patch. Not only does it suppress the weeds, but it holds in the moisture. And I just find that my plants grow so much better when I've got a layer of mulch on top. It feeds the worms, it feeds the soil life. It's just a necessity for your veggie patch. But I've just been so time poor. I know that's a really stupid excuse, and I shouldn't be using it, but I've been really time poor. And pulling the hay from up the top of the property down here has been on the bottom of my list, even though I know I need to do it. We've got silage, but I just have been too lazy. I don't know. Is that even an excuse? Pushed for time to put it on my garden, and this is what's resulted from it. A big mess, which has created another job for me to do on my already huge long list. So if I had just put the time into mulching, I wouldn't have had to weed, and the time that I've been spending weeding I could have used to mulch originally. So I'm really annoyed at myself, but I'm slowly starting to weed it. I'm going to try and do an hour every day this week, and each bit that I weed I'm going to mulch. So we should eliminate this problem, or the majority of this problem. You will still get weeds, just nowhere near as many as I've got right here. It's just crazy. Today I'm going to spend some time weeding it. I'm only going to spend about an hour or so, because I'm going to then go help Paul finish the fence off in the veggie patch, so we can move the pigs in there and they can start turning that over again for me, because I'd like to start planting in there. But the chooks have turned up all my weeds. So that pile there, they're all the weeds that came out of here. And they ate them, they scratched through them, they pooped all over them, and so I'm going to use that as mulch for my veggie patch, or part of my veggie patch, because there certainly isn't enough, and then I'll use the silage for the rest. But I'll start with that today, and then I'll try and do a little bit each day. Here's another less intense example. I'm still getting a heap of weeds. Not anywhere as near as bad as the veggie patch is. But I've also mulched this. This is just grass clippings that I raked up after Paul mowed. And hopefully it'll keep suppressing the weeds. But even the plants look happier today. It's kept the moisture in and they're all perky. There's a heap of orange peel here because my kids come out here and peel the oranges. But that all suppresses the weeds and it promotes soil life underneath and it keeps it nice and moist and damp. So I highly recommend mulching with whatever you've got. I like hay and straw and grass clippings. Wood chips are great too, but in the first couple of years they can make the soil become nitrogen deficient. It just, as part of the way that they break down, they draw up all the nitrogen from the soil, and it just makes the soil become nitrogen deficient. So you can amend that. Poop, blood and bone are two of the ways that you can amend that. But for me, getting wood chips in our area is really hard. We're on a steep block. We can't get a truck down here. They're expensive. And I've just found a free source of silage. I've got hay that's up here that's rotting. The previous owner hayed the property a couple of years ago, and the sheep don't really like it, so I'm going to be using them in my garden. So just find what's available for you that's cheap or free. If you can get free wood chips, that's awesome, but just be aware that the first year may not be as good as it's going to be in years to come. But if you go research the Back to Eden method, he uses wood chips and he doesn't even water, and his production is amazing. So use what works for you. I've always used hay. I have used wood chips in the past, but they're broken down previously. They were on my paths, they broke down. I used to then scoop it up into my raised garden beds, and it worked a treat. So do what works for you. That's the most important thing. If you notice that one method is allowing your plants to grow the best and it's easy for you and you're reaping the rewards, use that method. Do what's best for you. Of course, put in the last couple of poles in along this back edge. So hopefully this week we can get the pigs in here so they can start eating all this grass. But look at the growth we're getting. The beautiful grass is growing so well. The clover's popping up everywhere. So it's really good for all the livestock. I mean, not so much in here because I'm going to be planting, but the pigs will eat that. And out in the paddock as well. I mean, this is just a small section of it, so the cows will get it. And the sheep will get it up the top too, so that's awesome. We actually bought some clover seeds to spread in the orchard as a bit of a ground cover and a nitrogen fixer, because if you have a bracken issue, it means that you're deficient in nitrogen. So we've got a bracken issue. So hopefully the comfrey with the deep tap roots will be able to draw minerals up, adding things in there like the clover and stuff like that. A lot of manure and compost and mulch. Hopefully that will increase the nitrogen and it'll stop the bracken, but also allow the trees to thrive. And also hold in the water too, because fruit trees are thirsty, especially when they're in production. And I don't really want to be irrigating. So with mulch, it'll keep the water in, hold the water in, and yeah, hopefully that will all play together and we'll have a nice productive little food forest in there.